is Two Queers and a Truck. And I'm Billy James Gunn, and my sidekick, Christian Cano, partner in crime, is coming up next.
Hey everyone, I'm Jim's sidekick. Welcome to Two Queers in a Truck. Hi y'all.
See you soon. Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, depending on where you're at. It is Two Queers in a Truck time with Jenny and Christian, and here we are, January 29th.
Wow!
What a wild 2025 we're already having, and clearly we're already a month into it. So this is the last Wednesday of the month. Before we move into the month of love, you know.
Wow.
Little Galentines, little Valentines, whatever you participate in, or you don't even participate at all, you know, because, you know, you're a commie and you don't like chocolates. But, you know, or whatever, or you're just a stick in the mud. But anyway, it's February is one of my favorite months, mainly because it typically gets warmer in February, especially living in the South. So we start to get a little gradual warm up. You know, we get through the dog days of winter. For me, the dog days aren't in the summer; they're in the winter. So nobody, you know, these jackasses when it's 100 degrees out in the summer go, I can't wait for it to be 20 and 30 degrees. Mm-hmm. And then I go online and I look and see, I memorize who those people are. I go, I need to see you outside. I need to see you participating in stuff outside, and then tell me it's better to be outside in 20 and 30 degree weather instead of 105 degree weather. And I'm like, kiss my ass. You can't fucking go to the lake on a winter day. I mean, you can. I don't know what you're going to do except stare at the water.
Yeah.
You know, but anyway, these fools that every summer I hear them bellyache, and they're the same ones that cry about the winter. Come to find out, they just like to complain. And but yeah, we're here in Charlotte where we record and broadcast from, or from North Carolina, I should say. We got a little bit of a cold snap, and it was cold for here. I mean, if you live in New York or Canada or wherever you're listening to the show from, and you're above the Mason-Dixon line, it's flipping cold here. It's in the 20s, in the 30s, and it's you know, and y'all gonna hear about it. You know, it's a mild irritant to me. Winter is so annoying, and January is the most annoying month because there's nothing fun going on. You know, like it's
it's foosball.
Like I said, there's nothing fun going on. You know, does Dallas still have a football team?
Yes.
Yeah. How they doing?
I'm not going to take that bait.
We won't even get into the NFL.
Yeah.
Or as I call the no fun league. But anyway, but yeah, it's an observation, and I saw a Facebook post and I repeated it, and it just said, you know, I called out all the people that on my timeline saying, you know, where are you guys? All you guys in the summertime when I'm enjoying myself, I have to hear about how hot it is now, and you guys are pining for winter. And I'm like, I need to see y'all step up. I need to see y'all do the polar bear plunge, and I need to see, exactly. I need to see y'all out in this shit, and then tell me, you know, and then we'll document that. But yeah, wintertime, January sucks. Glad of January. I'm glad this is the last Wednesday of January. I don't miss it. We did have a big event this last Monday when we record, the week that we're recording, not the week that you see this. Dr. King's Day was on Monday, and as a company, we had a trivia night based on Dr. King and civil rights history, and we celebrated the right way. I heard there was another event in Washington, D.C., but I didn't really pay attention to it. I heard something about dumpster getting a job, which is pretty cool. I didn't even know that we could have jobs for dumpsters in this country. But anyway, I heard they're trashy, but I don't know. And something about a Nazi salute. I'm like, first of all, you got a guy that is appointed himself because he's bought his way into the presidency in Apartheid Clyde or Sissy SpaceX or any of the nicknames we have for Musk. Are y'all really shocked that his family made money off apartheid and oppressing people of color in South Africa? Are y'all really shocked that this guy did a Nazi salute on the first day? Is it just really that far fucking fetched? Do y'all just not remember Charlottesville in 2017 when there was a lot of good people there? Do you not see the fascism? I mean, it's one thing when y'all get mad that we call him a fascist, even though he is a fascist, and all of them are fascists associated with him. But why do you think it's so weird that all of a sudden this didn't come out of nowhere? Sissy SpaceX has probably been dying to do that since the election, and first of all, we know how many ex-wives he has and how many his kids, his biological kids that don't have anything to do with him, is that he's, basically your run-of-the-mill underachiever, trust fund baby that has conned his way into a very exceptionally wealthy life. But he is a con artist. He's just like Trump, but more successful in conning bigger ticket cons. Well, they're just cut from the same cloth, and they don't really care. Just like Adolf Hitler and Joseph Goebbels and all those people from the 30s and 40s of Germany did not care what they did to their country to get to their goals. And listen to those words for a second. They did not care what they did to their country or who they had to kill or get out of the way to get to their ultimate personal goals. And it's no different than these morons that are in Washington, D.C. right now with the Republican Party and the Rolling Stooges of the Republican Party. So we're not shocked. They can call it whatever they want. It was clear there was a Heil Hitler Nazi salute. And he does things because Apartheid Clyde, Sissy SpaceX, and Donnie Dumpster do things to get attention because, they have extraordinarily small penises. And when you have to compensate for your lack of manhood in so many different ways, you clearly have to do attention-seeking behavior. These are grown-ass men, supposedly, that are doing shit that I would scold a 14-year-old doing. I'm glad my grandfather was dead, the one that fought World War II against fascism as a teenager. And it's embarrassing to have been a part of this country, served this country in many capacities, to see this kind of stench and shit stains descend upon DC. Like, Dick Cheney was bad enough, but the fuck wasn't a fascist. Call him what he was. He loves America, and he's done a lot for the country, good and bad. But he's not a fascist. Doesn't align himself with apartheid, racists. Call the Cheney family what you want, but Liz Cheney doesn't reside in those circles, and that's why they're on the outs in the Republican Party after 40, 50 years of public service in that political party. They're cast aside because of a bunch of big belt buckles, big pickup trucks, small penis. The Trump administration part 2 is literally the truck balls of the presidencies in the presidential history. They are the Trump testicles. You can see the big old testicles, but you realize you don't see a big old dick swinging in between them for a reason. All balls, no brains.
Is that your version of all cattle, all hat, no cattle?
Exactly. For that too. And these kind of jackasses have infested Texas for a while now, and it's one of the reasons I left is you get to the point where you just go, I just don't want to put up with it anymore. And you listen to these dipshits, and like I'm not really worried what they're going to do because I know that the House of Representatives being controlled by the Republicans can't do shit. They haven't done shit, and they're not going to do shit, and they're going to lose the House in 2026, so it's not going to matter. But in the meantime, you know, the jackass Speaker of the House that doesn't know how to control himself when it comes to masturbation, you know, that fucking weirdo is you know, and Donnie Dumpster Dickbag, you know, the rapist in chief, and you know, and the fucking racist ass sissy SpaceX, all trying to bumble around, and the good thing is these morons, they're gonna burn each other. They're gonna flop around, and they're gonna try to blame her. It's like this whole TikTok thing. They shut TikTok down for about 4 or 5 minutes, you know, and everybody saw it for what it was. You know, it's Republicans that came up with the fucking idea to take down TikTok, and then a Republican says, "Oh, well, I'll give them a stay of execution because I'll cut them a deal." What it really meant is, let me get my dirty little dick beaters on TikTok, and we'll cut a deal, and we'll get cut in on the money. And you know, the thing of it is you know, shutting down TikTok, the American version, is also laying off 1 to 3 million Americans that have small businesses attached to TikTok. They're entrepreneurs. Whether you believe influencing is a career or not, it's probably here to stay because social media is probably here to stay. And the interwebs is here to stay. The Google machine's probably not going anywhere anytime soon. So it's the world's biggest marketplace. Everybody pretty much can pull it down in their homes and in their businesses and in their lives. Congress uses the internet. The president uses the internet. And we've used it for a long time. Pretty much this whole century, we pretty much have been in the internet age. Some, I mean, whether it's the .coms, the smartphones, the Google machines, the whole 9 yards. And to target a company that has Chinese investors, when True Social also had the same kind of investors from China, and never to hear a word that a former president used Chinese money to start up $1 billion social media. We didn't hear a fucking word about that from the Republicans in Congress. They just focused on TikTok and the strong arm tactics and the breaking of the First Amendment. I guess we aren't, sissy SpaceX isn't the First Amendment purists that they say they are. Well, we're up against our first break, but we'll be right back with some more Two Queers in the Truck right after this. Hey, y'all, this is Jenny with Two Queers in the Truck, and Christian's along with me. And we're just having fun, and we're looking forward to the 2025 season, and super excited. We have some neat things going on in our whole family of shows, including Coffee and Pan Dulce, and many new shows that are brewing. Get it. And we are excited for 2025 and all the chicanery and other things that comes with it. So happy New Year, and we'll see you on the flip side. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Bye, boo.
Bye, boo. Hey, everybody. You can catch us on your favorite audio podcast platform, Spotify, and all Apple Store, the Google machine, and whoever else does podcasts. We're on there. We broke in, and we're staying. So enjoy the Two Queers in the Truck on your favorite audio podcast platform. Thanks for listening or watching. Bye. But we are back, and it's weird how the First Amendment absolutists and purists and all of that. So we're going to restore Twitter or whatever the fuck it goes by now to its purest form, which is essentially a shittier version of TikTok. TikTok is the wild, wild west. You can make any videos pretty much on there except for adult ones. You can go on Twitter to find that. But for the most part, TikTok has shown that they absolutely support the First Amendment and free speech. There's a lot of videos that play on TikTok that Instagram will take down. I guess up until Mark Zuckerberg, is now turned a new MAGA leaf and is now we're going to get rid of all the fact checkers because we hate for facts to get in the way of social media, which is probably not the look. I mean, a fact checker isn't a censor. It's if you put something up that's provable and it's easily provable that you can go on Snoops or any of the other deals and go, oh, it's a bunch of shit. Like Trump posting that he has feathers coming out of his ass, for example. Or that sissy SpaceX runs a child sex slavery ring, out of South Africa and Egypt. Or that Mark Zuckerberg is an android, but he's not a human being. Whatever lack of fact checking is going on, you would wonder why. That's what got Zuckerberg and Facebook and Meta in trouble in 2016, is they weren't fact checking the Trump campaign, and they were promoting lies that affected the election about their opponent, but would fact check the opponent. And then they did the same thing in 2024. They fact checked progressives, but not conservatives. So really, the only changes that Zuckerberg made was he's just saying, well, I just won't fact check the progressives anymore. Supposedly. We'll see. We'll see as the wild progressive flaming homosexuals get on there and start testing the system and start saying, oh, maybe this is true, maybe it's not. But there's only one way to find out. And we'll push them until whatever conniption fit they have, or they realize, oh, that door goes both ways. But bottom line, there just needs to be more competition in the social media sphere. I know a lot of people are adding Blue Sky to their social media portfolio because it has nothing to do with Meta, it has nothing to do with sissy SpaceX, and it has kind of an independent stance. We'll see how that works out. I've got an account. I don't use it per se. I also don't use my Twitter account. In fact, I've deleted the app. I haven't logged into Twitter since 2024. I have no desire to. It's a shitstorm of the worst kind. The only reason I use Meta is because of the business. If the business and the shows weren't so dependent on the book of the face and the Instagrams, I wouldn't use Meta products anymore either, because they're absolutely dog shit. Reels is not nearly as good as TikTok and Instagram. TikTok's a way better product for content creators. It's just that we're stuck with Instagram because we got the package deal with Facebook and the events and Eventbrite, all the many wonderful tools that Facebook has. But the fact that a monster owns the company and is an anti-American, anti-freedom fool that basically goes where the wind blows him because he's so petrified of getting canceled, and he's a spineless son of a bitch. And so that's what they all are. They really talk a big game. We talked about this TikTok and shutting down TikTok for a couple years now. This bullshit started, and quite frankly, it's a much ado about nothing. TikTok's up and running. I looked at my account, Monday, and it was up and running. It was like, man, TikTok's back, And so it's kind of wild that they canceled it but didn't cancel it. Like, and I feel like this is the way it's going to go. They're going, Trump's going to do some executive order. By the way, executive orders mean nothing. The president cannot write a law. Executive orders are exactly. Remember all the executive orders Biden issued? Remember how those all affected your life? Yeah. Okay. Well, and I do understand why people are scared, especially in my community, being a trans woman living in the South. It's concerning when you see a jackass going, "There's those two genders. I'm a genius. I barely passed 8th grade biology." I mean, like junior high students understand gender and biology better than MAGAs there. Of course, considering most of them probably stopped learning after the 2nd grade. And I'm insulting 2nd graders and 1st graders by saying that. But damn, y'all, like, get a grip. Of all the things. By the way, is there still a war in the Ukraine? That was supposed to stop yesterday. This last Monday, it was supposed to be over. So he was supposed to call his buddy Putin, Golden Shower's lad, was supposed to end the war. He was going to call his buddy. Said, I got a direct line to Putin. I'll have him shut her down. And the Ukraine will remain free, and the war will be over. Because, I'm big league. I know all the world leaders, and they all fear me, and they do what I say.
Yeah.
So, instead of announcing that there's only 2 genders and being a chuckle fuck, where's the war? Is the war ended? Because it should be. He said it was going to happen. He should quit if he doesn't end the war this week. There should be calls for him to step down and resign. If he can't do that, guess what? He's probably not going to do the rest of the stuff. But we should stay on him. Why isn't the war over? And put the same onus that they put on Biden about inflation and the cost of fucking eggs and cold beer, whatever the fuck they blamed him for. Biden didn't say he was going to slash prices like Walmart. Prices weren't falling because of our president. The president has no control virtually on any of that. You can open up the national reserves for oil, and it has a mild market effect. Mild.
Yeah.
At best. At best. But something that the president can directly do is negotiate on a worldwide stage for peace and use our influence with NATO to force a peace in Europe. So why isn't the war over? Why didn't he end the 9/11 wars too? Why didn't he pull us out of Iraq and Afghanistan during his presidency? Probably because he's too stupid to be able to do it. And this fact that he doesn't have any influence. Everybody looks at every world leader, anybody knows, laughs at him to his face. All world leaders don't take him serious, and neither is Vladimir Putin. Like, Vladimir Putin does not see Dumpster as an equal in any way, shape, or form. Now, Dumpster would be like to be like Vlad. He'd like to have that kind of control and have an unlimited amount of election wins. Fucker could only win 2 out of 3. He's got a cult following and still barely beat a black woman this time. Barely beat a white woman the time before and lost to a white man. Think about it. He's lost 2 of the 3 popular votes. Like, if we went on straight line voting like the rest of our offices, he'd have never been president. Like, if we were a normal flipping country, which we're not, we're the hillbillies of the planet, but if we weren't, let's just say we weren't inbreeds, and we didn't have the dumbest people in the world controlling all of our policies, then we actually were smart enough to understand that, I don't know, the president should be no different than anybody else and should win by popular vote. It lost in 2016. And he probably never would have ran again. He just would have gone back to his sleazy little talk show and setting up fake universities and shit and selling some Trump stinks and some Trump bottled waters and golden sneakers and bullshit. But he probably would have jumped back out of politics. He lost by millions of votes. He got his ass kicked by Hillary. Got his throttled by Biden. And barely, and I mean barely, beat Harris. Like, not by much. Like a percentage point or two. Total, of the total population, it was minuscule. It was like 31% of the population voted for him and 30 voted for Harris. A black woman. like he's not impressive. He has a terrible track record when it comes to winning. Not to mention how many times he's lost in court. And he's a felon and a convicted rapist. I mean, he's what you refer to as an abject failure. So he's no real threat to the transgender population. Nobody, no medical association is going to go by his recommendations. They don't give a fuck. In fact, a lot of the changes in diagnosis of being transgender changed during the first Trump administration. Actually, most of the state laws changed during the Trump administration. Ironically. Had nothing to do with him. But the reality is that the world is changing, whether they want it or not. It's getting blacker, browner, and queer. Oh, wait a minute. No, it was always black, brown, and queer. White people are the minority of the planet. There's less white people than any other skin color. That's just the truth. Whether we want to agree with that or not. We're up against our second commercial break, and we'll be right back with some more Two Queers in the Truck. Hey everyone, thanks for watching the Two Queers in the Truck Show 2025 edition. We have a new special show that is coming on as part of the Canis Media family of shows, and it's the Tony Foreman Show. And they're going to talk about a little bit different things than we typically talk about on the coffee show or the queer show that we often reference. And it's going to be a little bit more of a serious show, a little bit more of talking about very specific issues amongst Latin, Latino men and Hispanic men. Tony Foreman is an Afro-Latino. And then I'm assuming that Christian's going to be on the show as well, which is a Latino male, a Tejano. And they're going to talk about things that are probably important to their generations, to what's going on in pop culture and where they fit in the world. And I guess that's always the existential question. Why am I here? But anyway, if you want to know why you're here and you whether you fit in that demographic or not, it should be interesting. I know Tony and Christian will keep it light and funny, and probably a little bit of silliness in there too, to boot. I'm looking forward to listening to it myself and not having to actually produce a show all the time. But please tune in at 10 o'clock on Wednesday mornings when that show drops, and enjoy more shows from the Canis Media family in 2025. Thank y'all. Hey y'all, thanks for listening to Two Queers in a Truck. And we do broadcast on YouTube and Facebook in a video version, and we're also on all the audio platforms out there. So your favorite way to listen to your podcast. We've been doing this for a couple years, and we appreciate y'all listening. We know you have a ton of choices, even though we may be the best choice. We always appreciate our listeners, and we'll try to bring you quality in the future. Thanks for listening. As always, Christian and Jenny, we're out. Thank y'all. Hey everyone. Hey, thanks for listening for Two Queers in a Truck. And got an exciting new show coming on this year for our Canis Media listeners, which is basically the Coffee and the Two Queers show, including the one you're listening right now. We have a new one called Esperaz K. And it's with our exciting young host that we've had as a guest host in the previous years, named Urente. And he's really going to talk about the focus on young Latino and Hispanic community issues and challenges that come with being young and being Hispanic in America. And honestly, there's a lot of interesting topics. And of course, he has a perspective of a Gen Z person, which is way different than Christian and I. We're on the opposite end of life. But it's fun. It's fascinating. I know he's always been a great guest. I look forward to listening to his shows in 2025, as should you. I think it's going to be a special treat. It's like the Guns and Knives shows. We have guns and we have knives. So anyway, listen to our family shows. We start dropping on Wednesdays at about 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. And we keep on dropping the shows until they're all dropped like Easter eggs.
Drop.
It is weird, though, that the Easter Bunny doesn't lay eggs. But anyway, hope y'all check out Urense's new show, as many of our other great new shows in 2025, plus our old standbys. And we'll rock out 2025. Thanks for listening, as always.
Bye, y'all. Bye, boo.
Bye, boo. But that's what scares them about Dr. King and people like that. A strong, wise person of color, male or female, scares the shit out of them. That's what scared them about Obama, Oprah, Dr. King, Harris. Scares the crap out of them. Scares them to death. Because they know worldwide white people are the minority. Straight up, European white people are a small part of the population. Even in Europe, things are changing. Demographics are changing. You go to London now, it's very, very diverse. It's not just British people and British origin. Like very few of my friends that live in London are one race. They're usually mixed. The majority of us are mixed race. Very few of us that are pure one race. No, I'm not. I'm mixed race. A lot of us are. Because we've lived through centuries of melting pots and evolutionary changes that have allowed us to be more fluid and travel further and faster and all of that. We don't have to worry about traveling in covered wagons and rickety old wooden ships. This push comes to shove, I can be in a different part of the world in a matter of hours. In less than a day, I could be anywhere in the world if I wanted to. So we possess the technology and the economy and the fortitude. In fact, we broadcast this instantly. Like if we wanted to do this live, we could do this show live again. We would broadcast to thousands upon thousands of people instantly. That's the power of social media, is the instant reporting, the instant updates, the instant investigations, the amount of people that have dedicated their careers to being part of the social media and the internet landscape in this country and around the world. You know, it's not just our country. There's multiple versions of TikTok. There's multiple versions of Facebook. TikTok China looks different than the one in America. It operates actually slightly different. But that's reality. The Facebook in England operates slightly different than the American version as well. A lot of apps, a lot of things like that change because depending on if you're in the European Union or whatever, or in China being a communist country, you got to, before you can log on to TikTok, you got to promise, not to violate the terms and conditions of the Communist Party and their communication tools, that the First Amendment does not apply just because you're American. There's a lot of things, and it's a complicated world, but the American version of TikTok didn't do anything wrong. They were just successful. And they gave a platform to everybody, including progressives, and they didn't like that. They don't mind their libs with TikTok and them flaming and targeting people, especially transgender people, which I still don't get why they're so preoccupied with us, other than we're just such a small minority that they just feel like they're going to punch down to less than 1% of the population. I think it's weird. I honestly think it's creepy. I think anybody that uses their religion as an excuse or whatever deal when 99.9% of the MAGAs don't even personally know a transgender person. They definitely don't have a relationship with them. And honestly, they probably usually don't even have much of a relationship with any LGBT people or minorities. It's a monolithic political party. It's over 90% white. It's predominantly male. And that's one of the reasons it's dying. That's one of the reasons they fought so hard to push Trump across the line one more time. Even if he is like a version of Weekend of the Bernies, where he's propped up and barely solvent and very functional. And he's not functioning at any high level. I know just the clips I've seen. I mean, you can tell I watch the debates. It looked like dead lice was falling off him. The guy's not with it at all. Like, and obviously he's got his little assistant or whatever, Sissy Spacek is, I guess, a personal assistant or a lover. I don't know exactly. Yeah, I guess Melania's not moving in. Maybe the bedroom next to Trump is going to be must. I don't know. I guess he gets a bedroom at the White House. Is that what hundreds of millions of dollars in campaign donations does that buy you as a Lincoln bedroom or something? Like, does that get you? Is Trump going to turn the White House into one of his sleazy golf motels? I'm just kind of curious because, honestly, it wouldn't shock me. Maybe he's going to dig up his first dead wife, and bury her at the White House grounds. I don't know. Maybe it should be good for the Rose Garden. But what a wild thing that Donnie Dumpster buried his wife. Is the mother of what, three of his kids, three of his adult dumb kids. Actually, probably his dumbest ones. Eric and Junior. Like they Beavis and Butthead of the politics. Like literally. It's wild to think, but nothing would surprise me with this man. Is he going to make this more of a tourist attraction than it already is? Because honestly, he's openly sold a seat at the White House in the cabinet to somebody that does not have any title, has no rank, has no accountability, and just gets to be closest to the president of the United States, and is foreign born and is ineligible to be president himself, but has all the power of the White House. Has all the power to do whatever the hell he wants. Musk didn't go through any vetting. He didn't go through any primaries. It wasn't been. They didn't say anything about it. Just letting him have unfettered access. Kind of a bait and switch, so to speak. There's no reason for him to be in the White House, but apparently he's there to stay, unless Steve Bannon has something to do with it, which he said he would fight it first. Steve Bannon keeps his promises about as good as Donnie Dumpster does. And as far as I know, the war in the Ukraine is still going on. I checked it this morning just to double check. He's definitely a day late and $1 short or two. And the Muskrat definitely hasn't negotiated anything out because he couldn't do shit about the war in the Ukraine. But it's just funny how long we heard about this year. I would end it tomorrow. I got to. You just put me in on. Shit, it didn't happen. It's not going to happen. Putin's not going to pull out of the Ukraine until he's forced to, or his people force him to, or they just don't lie. They just Luigi it. Like, Putin's damned if he do, damned if he don't. But he got himself in this situation. Where hundreds of thousands of Russians have been killed in this war. They're not doing any better 3 years into this thing. They've been in war almost the entire Biden administration is the Ukraine war. the Ukraine-Russia war has been on. It's still going on. American and President number 2 is now taking office. Are we still got a war in Europe? And it's wild. There's a lot of silence in the press about it too. They're really pretty quiet about this. Where are all these people that were hammering Biden when he was taking a nap during the Biden? Like Biden took a nap during the debate, and I get it. We don't want a president falling asleep during a debate. Okay. So we bring in another one that's just as old, just as senile, and probably more senile, that's also a sociopath, a felon, and has appointed a guy to a basically unlimited power ground that on the day one on the job does a Nazi salute. I don't think we traded up America. I mean, not that our listeners would vote for Donnie Dempster. I would imagine, and if they do, they've dropped, our MAGA listeners probably dropped off in the first section. Definitely by the second. I doubt they make it to section 6.
Their attention span is very small.
Oh, yeah. Plus, they only have so much break time at McDonald's. I think it's 15-minute break. And it's hard to keep those AirPods in the crapper.
That's right.
And me going, I'm mad because I can't make my trailer payment. You're going to roll my home away. I can't afford eggs. Like, well, Donnie Dumpster's not going to make the egg price go down. I checked grocery prices online and grocery shop today. Shit, they were the same as they were last week under Biden. There has been no price rollback. Still got a war in the Ukraine. A whole bunch of shit that we said, hey, if we vote for this moron, he's going to fix it all. That Daddy Dumpster.
He going to make my life better.
Yeah. Lots of cold beer. Natty Light's going to come down. These fuckers can't afford Bud Light. All the ones that got mad that the Bud Light turned into queer beer, I said, what does it matter? You can't afford that but Natty Light at best. Or Keystone.
Yeah.
There's people that buy that big old suitcase of 30 canned beers of Keystones, a case of Stones.
Yeah.
Same people. Who either drinks Milwaukee's Beast, Keystone, or Natty Light. These guys haven't bought a premium beer ever. Plus, it'd be more expensive than their trailer payment for their single wide. They've refinanced 5 times to replace the engine in their 25-year-old pickup truck that's looks like the Joseph in the Technicolor Coat Dream, except it's a little bit of more of a nightmare. But that is the end of the show. Well, welcome to America. Make America gay again.
That's
but we'll have a great week, and we'll see you in February.
Yeah. 1 month down. 1 month down.
1 month down. 11 more to go.
That's right.
There will be a midterm. So have a great week. Enjoy 2025. And, if you can, kids, it's not a good look to do a Nazi salute. Just so you know. Not a good idea.
Yeah.
Don't imitate that. Please don't. Whatever you want to be, just to be a fascist. Anyway, we'll see you next week. Appreciate y'all listening in. And this is it for Two Careers in a Truck. Till next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Bye, boo.
Bye, boo. Hey, y'all. Thanks for listening to Two Careers in a Truck with Christian and Jenny. And we are through the month of January.
Woohoo!
It's cold as hell outside. Be safe out there, especially in states that are having, dangerous driving conditions. So Winter is upon us, and we'll see you next week. We'll see you in February. Bye, y'all.
Hi, y'all.